And we are back, y'all. Go ahead and hit that like button, y'all, as we bring you an update on this very disturbing story. If you remember a few days ago, we brought you the story of Mr. Robert Brooks, who is a New York resident, not New York City, but somewhere between central and upstate New York. Well, he was a resident. He was recently beaten to death by prison or jail workers in, it looks like, a hospital setting, y'all. Now, this story has taken the nation by storm as an example of official overreach of, while I don't think these were police, but police brutality and all of that sort of thing. And the latest development in this is the Attorney General for the state of New York. Her name is Letitia James. She is known for being one of the people going after Trump, right? Letitia James says that her office is recusing itself from prosecuting these officials who perpetrated this act.
Hello and Happy New Year. Earlier today, after much consideration, research, and review, my office decided to recuse itself from the investigation of the correction officers involved in the events preceding the death of Mr. Robert Brooks at Marcy Correctional Facility in Oneida County. This decision is not one that was made lightly, but we believe this is the best course of action to protect the integrity of the investigation and to ensure accountability and justice for Mr. Brooks, his family, friends, loved ones, and for all New Yorkers. My office's Division of State Counsel by law represents state agencies in legal matters, including the Department of Corrections and correction officers. My Office of Special Investigation investigates matters where an officer of the law may have caused the death of a civilian. As part of our Office of Special Investigation cases, we do internal conflicts checks. After obtaining video and identifying the officers involved in the incident, we conducted this standard check. 4 of the correction officers under investigation in the Robert Brooks matter are currently defendants in other matters and are being represented by lawyers in the Office of the Attorney General. While we are confident in the firewalls set up between the Division of State Counsel and the Office of Special Investigation, even the possibility or mere appearance of a conflict could tie up a potential prosecution in lengthy legal challenges or get a potential prosecution outright dismissed. And I will not allow justice to be delayed or denied because of a conflict. Earlier today, we filed papers in Onondaga County Supreme Court under County Law Section 701 to appoint Onondaga County District Attorney William J. Fitzpatrick as a special prosecutor in this matter. When a prosecutor is unable to take a case, County Law Section 701 allows for the appointment of a district attorney in the same judicial department. District Attorney Fitzpatrick has served Onondaga County for over 30 years. His office is well-resourced to handle this complex and large investigation, and I thank him for taking on this case. Additionally, my office's Division of State Counsel will not represent the Department of Correction and/or its officers in this investigation. Again, this decision was made with the utmost respect for the integrity of this investigation, and we will ensure that there will not be any delays. My Office of Special Investigation will hand over all records to the District Attorney's Office immediately. My office has spoken with representatives of Mr. Brooks's family to explain this decision. And I want to take this opportunity, again, to express my sincerest condolences to them during this unimaginable, difficult time. It is critically important that justice is served. And this decision ensures that it will be.
Now, why wouldn't her office want to go after these guys? Not that they won't be gone after. It's just that she and her office won't do it. I suppose they'll want to appoint or somehow hand this off to a special prosecutor or some sort of outside prosecuting office. But why isn't she doing it? Well, she cites the fact that several of these corrections officers are already facing charges for previous incidences and that her office is defending them. So you heard that right. Some of the people who perpetrated or who were present when Robert Brooks was killed were already facing charges for previous incidences, and Letitia James's office is helping them with their defense. And now she's saying, because we're helping them with their defense, we cannot also prosecute them for this thing. So let's take a look at this CNN article about this. At least 3 of the officers involved in the fatal beating of Robert Brooks, a New York man held at the Marcy Correctional Facility in upstate New York, were previously accused of assault, according to court documents obtained by CNN. The officers were among 14 staff named by the Department of Corrections related to Brooks's death. None of the officers have been charged with wrongdoing. Check that out, y'all. So as of this article, which was just a few days ago, on December 31st, none of the officers have even been charged with wrongdoing. CNN has not been able to confirm the identities of the officers shown in the video or what specific role each named person is alleged to have had. Despite these officers not having their identities publicly confirmed, CNN nevertheless reports that 2 of the New York officers, Sergeant Glenn Trombley and Officer Anthony Farina, were named in a complaint in federal court in 2022 based on a 2000 incident which occurred at the same prison where Brooks died. The complaint alleges as another correctional officer beat a handcuffed inmate at the correctional facility, Trombley and Farina, quote, looked on and failed to intervene in any manner to prevent or stop the beating, leaving the plaintiff with, quote, a permanent facial deformity. All right. The plaintiff's attorney told CNN it was office policy not to comment on pending cases. So this is a pending case. A different officer, Nicholas Anzalone, who was named by the department, is also named in a separate federal complaint in 2022, stating he joined an assault on an inmate by another correctional officer at the same facility. The complaint alleges the officer was involved in a cover-up fabricating disciplinary charges against the inmate, who was left with, quote, substantial physical and mental injuries. The case is still ongoing. Y'all, this is wild. So interestingly enough, CNN is reporting at the same time that at least 3 of the officers involved in the fatal beating of Brooks have been involved or are involved in previous cases, but they also say that they are not able to confirm the identities of the officers shown in the video. So that's kind of interesting. Also, it's not totally clear if these 3 officers are the same officers that the Attorney General is referring to, y'all. So this, you know how these things go. Sometimes it can be a bit of a puzzle to put everything together. I'm sure the pieces will continue to come together over time. But what is clear is that this detention facility has major problems, and it has resulted in multiple people sustaining serious injuries, at least 1 death. And now we have the Attorney General of the state of New York, who's so gung-ho to go after some people, saying, look, we're not even going to go after these officers because we are defending them or we're representing them in other cases, y'all. So I would like to hear what y'all have to say. Are you surprised about this? What do we need to do to clean up our systems, y'all? It feels like every other day we are seeing our criminal justice system fail us. Now, I understand Robert Brooks, he had some terrible charges against him. Lots of people are outraged, but there's a minority of people who have said, look, I'm not going to cry for Mr. Brooks because of what he is either accused or having convicted of doing. But at any rate, y'all, we have to be able to trust our criminal justice officials, and it seems like they're failing us. Let me know in the comments what you think, and of course, as this information continues to trickle out and become clearer and clearer, we'll come back with more updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
With that investigation into the death of an inmate at a New York prison, the state attorney general's office releasing body camera footage today showing the beating that is being blamed for his death.
Fox 8's Morgan McKay has been reviewing the incident. She joins us live from the newsroom. Morgan, more than a dozen correction officers were involved in this.
Bianca, Natasha, it's a tough video to watch. Robert Brooks died shortly after this alleged assault. His family has seen the videos, but due to the graphic nature of the body camera footage, Fox 5 has decided to only show images of part of this alleged beating.
These videos are shocking and disturbing, and I advise all to take appropriate care before choosing to watch them.
The state attorney general's office released this footage recorded on body cameras worn by 4 correctional officers at the Marcy Correctional Facility in central New York. These videos, which have no audio, show Robert Brooks being carried into the infirmary by correctional officers. Brooks's hands are handcuffed behind his back when officers start punching him. They then hoist him up by his neck very forcefully, and one officer starts to smack Brooks with a shoe. One officer then used his booted foot to kick and pin down Brooks. Another officer punched Brooks in his upper body, and one of the officers again punched Brooks while handcuffed. At one point, Brooks was sat up with his face bloodied, and an officer punched him again. Brooks was then pulled up by his collar and forced to the wall. The next part of the video, which we're not showing due to its graphic nature, shows Brooks being carried back to the table seemingly unconscious. Brooks died the following morning at a Utica hospital. No charges have been filed yet, but the incident is being investigated by several agencies. In court filings this week, state police investigators said that preliminary findings from the medical examiner's office showed asphyxia as a possible cause of death. Governor Kathy Hochul said she was outraged and horrified after seeing the video and ordered the Department of Corrections to fire the 14 employees who allegedly participated. A spokesperson for the department said that 13 of those involved have been suspended without pay and 1 resigned. Brooks was serving a 12-year sentence after being convicted of first-degree assault for stabbing a former girlfriend. Reverend Al Sharpton commended Hochul's swift action, but the incident sparked outrage among many elected officials and criminal justice advocates.
It's shocking, it shouldn't be, but it's just the manner, the way in which they did not care. They did exactly what they wanted to without a care in the world.
Now, the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association, the union which represents most of those allegedly in the video, says they do not condone the actions taken in the footage, but will be upholding its obligation to represent its members. Natasha and Bianca.
All right, Morgan, thank you.